So for the field investigation, we were mainly interested in two aspects. First of all, we wanted to validate the methodology previously presented by Fateme. And then a second point, we wanted to show how this kind of output, the output of the remote sensing analysis, could be used as a guiding tool in the field. For the field investigation, we decided to focus mainly on the regions of interest, which correspond to the three areas highlighted by the black rectangles in the slide. And these locations were chosen as they correspond to areas for which we are able to observe large magnitude of changes, or for which we have previous knowledge of damage based on the output of the 2015 mission. To better guide our investigation in the field, we then decided to move from the large-scale analysis, from the output of the large-scale analysis, to the results of a building-level analysis. This means that for each of these regions of interest, we actually evaluate changes at the building level. In this way, we were able to identify basically the structures, specific structures that experience the high, like a level of change between the pre and the post-earthquake. And these structures that we see here, for example, were classified according to two classes of interest based on the difference in the number of monitoring points, PS points, between the pre and the post-earthquake. And for example, for the buildings that we see as yellow, we found a moderate difference in PS points between the pre and the post-earthquake, while the buildings that are represented as red were buildings for which we observed a large decrease of PS points between pre and post. We actually, of course, had some buildings that didn't experience much change that we could assess, like we could define as green, and here have not been represented because they're less relevant for our purpose. So, for the purpose of the field investigation, we actually decided to focus only on the red buildings, on the buildings that experience a large level of change. And since for each of these buildings we actually possess the geolocation information, we were able to import the coordinates of each of these structures into Google Maps on our phone. In this way, basically we were able to use our mobile device directly in the field to go after the specific buildings and understand what happened to the building. So once in the field, we wanted mainly to reply to two questions. First of all, we wanted to understand whether the output of the remote sensing analysis was matching what we were able to observe. So if the red buildings were actually buildings that were damaged because of the earthquake. And in the case of positive correlation, so if this was actually verified, we were recording the information in the form of a picture. Then the second question was actually evaluate whether, in case of buildings for which we were finding positive correlation, we wanted to basically evaluate what happened, what was the current condition of the building in order to evaluate the progress of the construction using this kind of information. So here we have some preliminary results following our field investigation. And on the map on the left-hand side, we see the distribution of the red buildings for one of the three investigated areas. And in the map on the right, we have the distribution of the pictures that we collected during the investigation. And it's here important to highlight that the three areas highlighted in black are actually regions that we didn't have time, that we didn't have opportunity to visit during the investigation. What we can see is that overall, the correlation between the results of the remote sensing analysis and on the field investigation is good, meaning that for most of the red buildings, we were able to find a positive correlation with the observation in the field. Then, since we were also